Hello and welcome to this course on usually. We have covered in this module so far the accounting, administrative and general expenses. So in this video, we are going to cover the information and technology expenses. Information and technology expense P&L was introduced by the 11th edition of Uniform System of Accounting for Lodging Industries, and the importance of this schedule or the P&L is to consolidate all the telecommunication expenses, the IT related expenses into hotels, so that the hotels can understand how much of digital transformation efforts they are taking compare with the other standard hotels. So every nowadays hospitality industry is going through the transformation. There are software as a service for revenue, for reservation, for property management system, for accounting, for purchasing, and even the guest apps. There are QR codes everywhere. There are virtual reality AI being used in hospitality. So the digital transformation is transforming the face and the traditional IT expenses, which used to be a revenue stream, for example, Wi-Fi and telephone services used to be a profit center and the guests were supposed to pay for these services. Nowadays, as a standard, the Wi-Fi and the telecommunication expenses are rather provided as free of cost to mostly in almost entire hospitality industry. So it's a minimum standard for the hotel to have a telephone, but hardly anybody use the telephone services to communicate because they are using the smart devices, the WhatsApp, the Facebook, the messengers, and the instant messaging apps instead of calling via the hotel phone. So hotel phones are practically left out to communicate with internal rooms and making service requests. The Wi-Fi is an important aspect of the service today, and every hotel is providing the Wi-Fi for free of cost to the guests. So rather than becoming a profit center as used to be in the past, now the IT expenses are becoming more of a support function. So to reflect that reality in change in the hospitality industry, the another P&L has been added as an information and technology expenses to stream out what is the amount of the labor that the hotel is spending on the IT manager, telephone department, and the and those related services. So you have similar way the salary and wages. So salary and wages related to the IT department, maybe the computer operator, the telephone operator, the IT manager, the Wi-Fi providers, the system administrator, the database administrators, and any other employee that the hotel has hired for providing the IT services and IT information and the telecommunication services. So the salary and wages, as in any other department, would include the regular works as a computer operator. Sorry, it includes the permanent employees and also include the contract staff, which we are paying by hour or by month through our payroll systems. If we have hired any third-party agency for which providing the guest services, but they are not paid directly by the hotel, but are paid by the third party, and we pay to the third party, then the cost of those services would go into contract lease and outsourced labor. The service charge distribution, as we have explained throughout the module, is necessary only if the guest is paying as a compulsion, and we are distributing that through the payroll system of the hotel. Otherwise, it will be as a liability. The other line items like bonus, payroll related expenses, we have already covered in our earlier module, so we are not going to repeat them again to save your time. So if let's look at the P&L for this new department. So apart from labor, there is another line called cost of service, which is the cost of telephone calls, internet services, local calls, and long distance calls. And there are system expenses. System expenses are basically your other expenses which are specific used by the different department. For example, ANG may be using accounting software, the purchasing software, the HR management software. So those costs will go into the administrative and general. HR may have their own softwares. Information security, we may be using some PCI compliance and other things. So we're going to look at the details of that in a bit. Then the system expenses, the usual other expenses like contract services, cluster, cleaning, and dues and subscription, which are particularly same as any other department, are also included in this P&L as well to understand how the department is spending the money on various things. So let's look at the details. So apart from the labor cost, the cost of services includes the cost of cell phones if the hotel has been providing the cell phone to its employees, or sometime also to the guest as a service. So if it's providing to the guest, then the cost of those subscription and the phone will go into the room division, complimentary gifts and services, rather then the this as a support. The cost of cell phones provided to employee only will be considered in this information technology department. The cost of internet service, which is we are paying the fixed on the fixed amount, whether it's paid via the by per MB or anything else, then the cost of that will be charged to this expense. So it will be the overall hotel line. Let's say the hotel has taken a 50 megabyte line or a 100 megabyte line from the telephone operators or from the internet service providers. The cost of that monthly fee will go in here. Plus, if there is any like cabling done which is not qualify for capex, some small routers or boosters which does not cost much but are necessary to provide these services will also be going into the cost of internet services. Then you have cost of local calls and long distance calls from the hotel if the customers is provided with the local calls. If we are charging for from the guest the cost of these local calls and long distance calls, then we will credit the money received to these expenses. Otherwise, it will be just only the expense. And then there are other cost of services other than the information technology. If there is any other expense that we are doing as as a service to the guest or to the employee, then the cost will be included in here. Then the apart from the cost of services, there are system expenses. So system expenses are by department. So it means that the software you are using, the hardwares you are using, the hosting charges, the software as a service, license, hardwares, and maintenance charges will be recorded in these system expenses, and it's categorized by the department who is using those services. For example, administrative and general is mainly responsible for accounting and security. Centralized information system charges are the corporate or the brand system that provide the central information technology solutions. For example, the firewalls. It can be the centralized licenses, which are charged to the corporate offices, absorbed by corporate office, but charged to the hotels. Then you have energy management system in the property, which is used for like building management system or energy solar management systems. If we are paying any subscription, F&B may be using the point of sales or any third party vending agencies or reservation or booking system, then the cost will go here. In this case, here is important to mention that if the cost is based on reservations, let's say, then the cost will go to the F&B department. But if it's a fixed charge, let's say monthly maintenance charges or monthly license fee, then the cost will go into the information technology department. So if it's based on revenue, then it's going to be go into the department. There are certain softwares nowadays which are combined, like ERP based system. So you have the property management system, POS system, accounting system, all in one software. In that case, you need to put it into the where is majority of the cost. So if it's the majority of the function is usually a property management, then it will go into property management software rather than splitting the cost into ANG and FNB. However, if you are paying separately, then the cost can go separately. The other key important aspect which you have to understand here, which we have already covered, is how we pay for these services. Certain softwares nowadays come for free, means you don't have to pay the maintenance charge, you don't have to pay the license fee, you don't have to pay anything. But you are going to pay as a percentage to, let's say, there are softwares which are provided free of cost to you. So they have a property management system, they have a POS, they have the booking engine, they have a channel manager. But what you are paying is basically per booking, right? So the that booking amount basically includes the maintenance charge of the software, the usage charge of the software, but it's not separately identified. So in that case, the cost of that booking system, booking engine fees, will go to the rooms division, where we are recording the booking engine fees, or channel manager fee, we are recording the channel manager fee, not to the system expenses. So you have to be very careful in that. Then you have the golf and hardware golf system. We are using a golf system, we are using the health club systems, human resource systems, information technology systems. So all the license and everything will go into the different departments. Then there is an important line here which is and need to be mentioned is hardware. Means you are using the it's a hardware which is non-capitalized, which is the keyboards, computer mouse, any small memories, DVD drives, which are used as a hardware for providing these services or to maintain these services. So it will be the cost of that will be going into the hardware. It can be used by any department, so it doesn't have to be by one department. Any department who is using such hardwares will go into this hardware line, so that it's easy to understand how much money the hotel is spending on the hardwares, right? Then you have the human resource department, which is the using the HRIS, payroll, time clock system, information security for PCI compliance, information systems. So security is only the PCI compliance and affiliated costs. Information systems is the local area network or wider area network or email property. If you are paying any subscription for the emails, then the cost will go here. Then you have property operation and maintenance, which is mostly for the work orders and also the building management systems. Then you have sales and marketing. The sales and marketing includes only the system of the property, not the revenue, which is commission based on the revenue. It's a fixed fee. So that is the so that is the total expenses that are called system related expenses. So you have to remember that the system related expenses includes the AMC, annual maintenance charge of hardware, plus the software license charges, but not the not the commission based on revenue or hardwares, small hardwares. Hardwares is going to the hardware cost. Then you have other expenses, which is pretty much similar to the other department, like the cluster services. If the IT operations are managed by a cluster of hotels, or contract services, if you hire the third party marshals for providing the Wi-Fi services in the hotel, or you have outsourced the call center charges. Call center to the third party for managing the calls inside and outside, then the cost will go into this department. Corporate office expenses, which is charged from the corporate office for IT related expenses, IT related tasks, dues and subscription if you have any membership for the Wi-Fi, or the if we have subscribed to any magazine, newspaper, books, everything else will be going here, not the software license. Entertainment in-house, if IT department is entertaining their vendors. Equipment rental, if we have any equipment, like say we hired a service, UPS or anything else, but it has to be on a temporary basis. If it's a permanent thing, then it will be going into the non-operating expenses. um, Apart from that, it's important to also look at the system storage and optimization. So this is the cost of online storage repository that we are paying on off-site rental charges for storing our data. So that's the cost involved in this. So you may be having a subscription for Google Drive, OneDrive, or Amazon. So the cost of that storage will go here. Then you have the other regular expenses, which is called training, traveling, other uniform, which is similar to any other department. The only thing because it's a new department, there is less of the data and sometimes it's confusion. The only thing you have to remember is to have a consistent and clear accounting definition based on your hotel structure. What your hotel is using. If we are using the golf courses, you are using the accounting source. If you are using the more on a property management system. So if we are using consolidated software, then we have to recognize that in that particular expense where is majority used, not as majority based on majority function, not as an individual department. So that is the IT related expenses. In the next video, we're going to be discussing about the sales and marketing and maintenance department. See you soon.